everyone, welcome. It's Ann Hine. I'm going to hold here for a moment and I'm trying to find the video myself here on our page. So let's see. There it is. And I get my comments on. All right, comments are on. Hi, Britt. Welcome. Hopefully you can hear me okay. How do I sound all right? Give me a little thumbs up if that's good, just so I know where I'm at here. All right. All right, I'm going to hold here for just a little bit while people find their way, and then I'll go from there. Let me see what's going on here. There we go. All right. Yep, so my comments are on, so you're welcome to comment, and we'll watch the countdown clock, and then I'll put the camera on, and we'll go from there. And good morning. Good morning, Marty. Welcome. We have Dee and Britt. Suzanne is watching. Jermaine is watching. So all is good. Happy to be here. So we just have a little bit of time. I'm just going to wait to see how we do with getting people on. And it is early sometimes. This one is not always that high attended because it's early in the day. Oh, hi MT. I'm not sure what that's. Hi Ann, welcome. Let me see what else is going on here. All right, so here we are at the countdown. I'm going to go ahead and put the camera on because I think we are a minute after, and I think we're good right there. So let me do that. There we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Janome Live. I'm Ann Hine, and I'm the embroidery software specialist for Janome. And today, this is AD Skill Builder 25. I can't believe it, 25. Whew, there's a lot of those in there. Today, you might notice I have a different background. I am at the Janome office, so this is our studio. You may have seen some of the other educators if you watch on Thursday. Sam and Elba, they will do their lives from this location too. And I'm just going to move my webcam so you can see a little bit of what's behind me. I think it's really pretty. They have it set up really nice with some things. So I'll kind of turn a little bit. There's a couple things up there on the shelves. We'll come back around this way. They have it all festive, so that's really nice. I'm very excited. So I'm up here through Thursday. So I think I'll be doing my other live on Thursday. That's on the Janome Sewing Machine page. I'll be doing it from here too at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'll be back in here. Unless I get done on Wednesday and then I shoot on home, I'll do it from my home studio. But I think I'm staying up here to get this done here, and then I'll head off down to where I live. I'm about 2.5 hours south of here. And I drove up this morning, and which was a little dicey because you never know what the traffic is coming in towards up to New York and New Jersey area. But it only took me 10 more minutes than what my original estimate was. So I was real happy about that. So today we are going to be talking about how you view your designs. And I'm going to show you a couple things. You might already know this, you might not. I don't know, but we're going to go over a couple of things that people forget about. There's a lot of tools within Artistic Digitizer that not all of us use them. I'm the same way. I get into my routine of what I like to do and how I like to do it, and I kind of stick with that. But I wanted to show you this part too, in case you're wondering different ways to view your designs, different ways to look at the stitching of your designs. And I think that's important as we start to create our own designs and we work at fixing designs and things like that. This gives you another look at how things are going to be. So I am going to demo with the software, but I don't know if you caught this when I moved my camera around, but they have these up here at the office, these little rugs. I love these Janome rugs. I may have to find out where these are and get one to take home, which I love Janome stuff. So anyways, I think that's pretty cool. Maybe our dealers have them. I don't really know. I'd have to check on that part of it. I don't always know where all this stuff is at one time. All right, so as always, when I am doing my live, I do have my iPad set up so I can answer questions, and I will check from time to time. And if I miss your question, I'll try to answer it later. I see somebody's asking about notes. I did not print notes today, just running a little bit behind on that part of it. But just so you know, I usually go in to the manual and get my information, some of my information in there, just to kind of keep me on point sometimes. And so if you're looking for the information on how to view your designs, in the printed portion of the manual, we can use our drop down under help, and then there's printed manual. You can look in there, and it's on, I followed pages 114 through 116. So that's where the information is on that part of it. So sometimes I do, when I have a longer lesson, I will post my notes. But today I just didn't get, I'm just doing so many other things behind the scenes prior to this that getting my all my notes together, I don't know, I can't, for this one I just didn't do it. So with that being said, I don't know if anybody caught last Saturday, I was over on the Janome Sewing Machine page. I got to kick off their holiday open house. And we've done this, I think this is like the third or fourth year we've done a holiday open house. And we have some educators that create their projects. They create instructions, PowerPoints, designs, things like that. And then we teach them online. And then dealers can show them in their stores, or you can watch them live online and see what they're about. But our dealers have more of the information there. And this is for the USA. I know I have people from all over. So I don't have my samples out at the moment, but I did the gingerbread gift card holders. So if you want to look for the video from Saturday, I did post it to our page. So you don't have to go over to the Janome Sewing Machine page to get it, but you can look on our page. It's under the Janome Live events, under guides. So you know at the top where guides is. So you, hang on, I turned my phone off, but for some reason these spam calls just come right through. There we go. So I did include it in our guide. So if you look in there, the video is there that I did for Saturday. The Jeff design is there, and the graphic. So on December 9th, in 2 weeks, I'm going to be showing you how to create the gingerbread guide. So you can see it there. But the little, there's the directions, everything in the directions are in our files, or in the guides, I should say. They're over in the guides. That's where you have to look. So that's where that is. Let's see, snowy Toronto. You know, they did say, I'm here in Jersey, and I forgot to check to see if my snow brush is in the car, that we might get some flurries here, but I don't know, maybe not. Let's see, what else was there? Good morning from California. There we go. Hi, Dennis. Welcome. And from Florida. So the other thing, something just slipped out of my head. I'll have to think of what it was. I'm going to be back here Thursday, as I said, and then next Tuesday I'll be off because I'm traveling on Tuesday. But that week, a week from today, that week I'll be on location in Portland. So I'll have some fun things going on there when I do my lives from over there. All right, so let me go ahead and put the software on so we can do a little demo that way, and I can show you a little bit about View. If you have questions, please post them as I go, and I'll take a look to see where they're at. And if I can remember what I just was thinking of, you know, things just fly into my head. So there's so many things going on. I'm getting ready for Christmas, as we all are. And I have my little, let's see, this side. I showed these. I'm going to show these on Thursday, hopefully. I'm doing Thursday as a few of my favorite things. These are my little tree earrings. I made these last year, and I made little, if you watch Saturday's video, I have these little springy trees. So I brought them with me. I'll show them again on Thursday. So let me put the software on, and we'll go from there. And let's see, where is that? That's here. All right, and let me get there myself. Hold on one second. I just have to close a couple things that are in the way. There we go. All right, so what I did is I pulled up this design. This is one of the built-in designs that we have, and I brought it up on the screen. And typically when we're looking at our designs, we see them in this way. This is the 3D. And if I went up here to view, now on my screen, because I'm on my Mac, you can't see the very top row. But there's a tab up here that says View. If you're on your PC, you might have View right in here, okay? But on a Mac, it's the very top, and for some reason it crops out And I don't know if I slide it down. I don't think it's going to work. Yeah, I can't get it to slide down. But you're going to click on View. And typically we have stitches and 3D preview showing. And that's what it looks like here. So we work with it in this way. And we may go over here and select a part, and we'll select Edit Nodes, and our nodes will pop up. Or if we want to look at our stitches, now if I just clicked on Edit Stitches, let me select this part and Edit Stitches, you can see the stitch points here. And these are the actual stitches. And I can, I can move them out if I want and play with these. And we've talked about these a little bit before, but this is the stitch view. And if you don't see stitch view when you are on your computer, is right up here. Let me turn this off. Let me go back here and go to turn off manual. There we go. So if you're in auto, right up here, it says auto, and you click on a part and then you click on edit stitches, you don't see those stitches. So what you need to do is click on auto, and then let's go back and select and then go to stitches. There we go. And once it goes to the manual optimize, you'll be able to see the stitches. And if I can just pick any spot and I can move those stitches. You can see how I move these out at that point. I can delete those also. When I go over here, if I just click on them and hit delete, I can take stitches away. Not always good, but just to show you. There's a lot you can do with this, where you can play with those stitches. Let's go back and look what it looks like without it. So now I've made a big gap in there. So you can do that if you have a design you're working on or a design you bring in and it has a, sometimes it'll have a stitch sticking way out. You can use your edit stitches. Say this stitch was way out here. Let's say it was sticking out like that, kind of like a little pointer, and you're like, ooh, I don't need that little stitch hanging out there. I can go into my edit. I can go to edit stitches. I can come in here and I can bring this back down into there like that. And there's much more you can do with that. And we're going to cover this part here too. I think I posted something on that, but I think I'm going to post another, like a quick tip on what this all means down here. Let me turn that off. There we go. All right. So that's one of the ways, well, a couple of things you can do under view when you're in view. So you can select, you can look at your edit nodes, you can do your edit stitches. As long as edit stitches, you have to change from your manual, from auto to manual to be able to see those stitches. Okay. All right. So let me undo everything I did. See if it'll go back to normal. There we go. All right. So that's where we started. And let me check to make sure there aren't any questions going on here. Suzanne's asking about the earrings. These were done last year. So if you look in the videos under guides for 2020 on the countdown to Christmas, the ones in December, I show how to make these earrings. They're all under there. Okay, so when you go to view, you have some other options. We were in 3D view. And if I turn off 3D view and I can look under here, I just have stitch view. So these are just my stitches. Sometimes you might want to work like this. And I can also see when I do that which stitches are on top of the other stitches. So I kind of see where they are in this respect. I can still select areas and turn on my edit nodes and work with them. I can still use my edit stitches if I need to use my edit stitches. Those are there too. If I wanted to play with my stitches, I can do that too. So that's just another way to view your designs under the View tab. And then now that I've gone to just stitches, I have this thing called Stitch Points. So under Stitch Points, I'm going to select that so you can see that. Stitch Points puts up all these dots. This is where your needle will bore into your fabric. All right. Here, let me show you the other arrows where we had our edit. Let me put up edit stitches so you can see. The edit stitches, this gives you the arrows to move your stitches around. And when I move them, let me see if I move one. If you can see if the bore holes move. Let's see, I think they move under the shaping. Yeah, I think if I did edit nodes and I moved my edit nodes, see how all those little bore bore points moved. So it gives you just another view. For me, I like to use the view of just the stitches and then the 3D view, which is very helpful. And then of course I use my edit nodes and my edit stitches. But this just gives you another option of how to look through your design and how to edit things. The other one I'm going to show you under here, and then I'm going to show you some created designs and how you might use them. So under your view, you also have thickness view. So thickness view, and I'll back out so you can see a little bit better. Thickness view gives you these different colors here, and it's showing you where things are overlapped or where things are laying on top of each other. And so the green part shows you if it's only one layer, it's the green part. And then if you see some yellow, that's 2 layers of embroidery. So this is laying over some things. And then the red is 3 layers of, orange is 3 layers, and then red is too many layers. So there's like many layers coming in some of these spots, especially down in here in this spot. But for this design, when I go out of it, this design, it does work. Now there are times when you want your things to lay over each other, but if you want to see if something is too thick, then you can check in your thickness area. Now let me see if I select an area. Let's see if I select, I'd have to select over here. Let me come out of my thickness, and then let me just select this purple part, and I'm just going to bring it and lay it on top of there. Let's make sure. Let's say never. All right, let's see what happens when we go to thickness view here. And now it's showing some yellow spots. It may have removed the red that's under there. Let me go back one more time to the red part and say never. All right, so it's starting to show some of these red dots where it might be a little bit thicker there. But this gives you another way to work with your designs if you want to really get in there and play with some of the different views of your design. So let me just click off of here. All right, so how does that relate to designs that you're working on? Let me just show you a couple things here. I pulled up this image here. This is a design that I digitized from a graphic. And the first thing I'm going to do so we can see this better is I'm going to select all of it. I want to rotate it 90 so I can work with it. And then I'm actually going to pull it out of the hoop. I'm going to work over here because the grid and the hoop right now just kind of bother me. Now, when I move it out, I still have my grid. So to change that again, you would go up to your view and you can go to grid, or you can do, I have my Mac, so I would do my Command G, or you can do, I think it's Shift G for your PC and remove that. If I wanted to stay over here on my hoop, I could actually turn my hoop off. So I would just have this part here, this pink part. And if I rotated my hoop, it probably wouldn't be pink. But I'd still have this center line. So sometimes when I'm demoing for you guys, I like to be, just nice and open without any of those areas in the way. So here's my view. I am in Stitches view, 3D view. If I wanted to just be in like Stitch view, here we are here, and I can see my stitch points. Let me turn this off. There we go. And now I'm in a view without any stitches. I have these nice clear areas where I can work with editing my nodes in this area if I want to. It takes a lot of that distraction out of my way so that I can work a little bit better with my piece. Now this piece was done to be, sort of raggy like this. But if I had an area, let's look at this area right here. So this area, it goes under here. It's kind of jagged. If I wanted to work with just that area or the one that's on top of it, maybe this one here, and smooth this out a little bit, I can see it a little bit better when I go to my edit nodes. I don't have those stitches in my way, So I can kind of work around changing these. Maybe I want this one to be a smooth node like that, and then I can use my arrows there to make that more rounded. And I'll go back to my selection, and I could work with it this way. So going into what I like is to change my views, because sometimes it helps me see what's going on in my design. So this little stuff under here, if I was, let's go back to view, stitches, and 3D. So here's my 3D look. So here are my stitches. I could select this part, I could edit my nodes, and when I edit my nodes, sometimes seeing all those nodes moving around or all those little threads moving is distracting. And if I was in my view with just, there we go, with the stitches turned off, I have more solid shapes to work with. I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's just an option. It gives you an option of different ways to work with your design, different ways to see your design. Sometimes when we convert a graphic, and I should have pulled one of these up, if you're converting a graphic, this is a great way to see where things are. A lot of times when you convert, you may have some things that look like an outline, but they're actually the background. And this would be a good way to see that, I think in a little more clear picture than with the stitches in the way. So you can, like right in here. So this little spot here, see how this little M is kind of funky at the bottom. If I was in, let's go into my stitches and 3D. Look at that. I don't really see it there. So maybe my stitching is okay there, but I can actually clean it up a little bit by going in the other view and fixing those little parts. So that's what I would do. I go zoom really in close. So up here, see my outline isn't close here, so I can fix that. I can move around my design, making any of the changes that I want to make in this design. And then if I want to look at it in thickness view, let's see what happens in thickness view. So Sharon, just a minute. We'll go on the zoom part, just one moment. So let's go here to thickness. So a lot of this is all one layer, which is nice. I don't have a lot of thickness. I have a little bit of 2-layer things here. No really bad spots in this area. So let me go out of thickness. So with your zooming, here's your zoom here. You have different zoom ways here, but you also have down here, let's see, when I go off of that, you can click here, and if you, let me see, you should be able to zoom more. Let me go back down to 100. When I use my fingers and zoom this way, I can go much higher. Now I'm using my mouse pad, or if you're using your mouse wheel, if you move your wheel, you can zoom more. You should be able to do it with your mouse wheel or your mouse pad. So Sharon, give that a try and see if that helps you there. And then you can use your zooms to go back. Sometimes if you lose say I'm over here and I don't know where my design is, I can go to zoom, zoom all, and it'll bring my design center screen for me. Not center hoop, but center screen. Center hoop would be up here. Underneath your sewing machine is center to hoop. So besides going to view and looking at stitches, you also have your zoom to view things. You have edit nodes and edit stitches to view things, and you can go up under your sewing machine and bring it to center hoop like that. Let's show you rotate hoop, because I haven't showed you that, I think, in a while. I always like to show this. Click on your hoop tab, and then right up here you get the window for rotation, and it'll rotate it 90 for you. There, and I have my hoop turned off, so when I come up here you can see the hoop is off. I would just have to come under view and turn my hoop back on, and there it is. Remember, any tools you use on the left side to go up here to selection to turn them off. All right, so I'm going to hold for just a moment. I think I'm going to put the camera back on and see where we're at because we're pretty close. I think I covered everything. I'm going to look at my notes for just a moment and make sure there's anything I haven't missed. I think I'm pretty good. So let me get everything back here and I'll put the camera back on. There we go. All right, so I'll wait for just a second because there's always a little lag from where I'm at to where we are on my iPad over here to see where we are. And let me hold these up closer so you can see this because it was hard to. There we go. So these were done with fringe. If you search on our page, you do hashtag fringe, you should be able to find a video on how to create fringe. And also the stuff on the fringe trees may come up too because I think they're tagged with fringe. I try to tag everything that I do with a topic word that's easy to find. So if you use the little magnifier and type in there hashtag, don't leave a space, just hashtag whatever your topic you're looking for, you'll find it there. Most of the time I have them tagged. So that's an easy way to find things. Has everybody been able to use the guides? Is there anyone who doesn't understand where the guides are or how to use them? I'll take a moment here to answer any questions on that part before I sign off. Everybody's been pretty quiet, so we'll see. You guys are always so quiet. Let me see here. There we go. What is that? There's some really, I'm going to have to go look through everything in the background. There's some nice things behind me. So Thursday, the topic for my Thursday Live, I don't know if I told you guys, is a few of my favorite things. So I'm going to be showing you some of the things that I like to have in my studio for what it's going to be some product. It's going to be some things in the software that I like that are my favorite things. And I'm going to mention a few things. I don't know if I'll have a machine handy, but I'm going to mention some machine features that I like too that you might not know of in your machine. Now, I can only speak about Janome machines because that's what I have, and I'll let you know those on Thursday. So that's going to be over on the Janome sewing machine page, and if you haven't been over there lately, check it out. We have some great videos that come from there this afternoon. Typically, Celine has been doing some videos, some really wonderful videos on feet and projects and things like that. We have Alba doing quite a few. We have Miriam has come on. Miriam has some cute projects and things that she's done also. All right, I think there's been no questions on how to find the guides and how to use them. I think I'm going to sign off. I have some other projects to work on today, so up here at the office. So I'm going to let you guys go. I'll see you Thursday, hopefully over on the Janome Sewing Machine page. I'll be back in here in the studio with any luck, and we'll get that taken care of. Then remember, next week, no live on Tuesday next week, but I will be live Thursday coming to you on location from Portland. All right, let's see here. I guess we're all good. All right, everyone. Bye for now. Have a great day. Get out there, open your software, play a little bit. I know it's hectic this time of year, but don't lose your skills. Open it at least once a day and play in there just a bit. All right, we'll see you later. And I'm working on fun stuff for next year. Just going to throw that out there. So always keep in contact with us. See y'all later. Bye for now.